Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis, and of course, keeping it real when it comes to theme parks. So, welcome to the lunch table, where we kick off your Fandom Friday to kind of get to know somebody new in the community, and just kind of get together with those of you out there watching. So I hope you've got like your late breakfast, your lunch, or let's see. Well, it's an hour past tea time in the UK. But as always, so glad you guys are here with us. So let me bring up my co-host, Fat Steven, hashtag Gary Busey on my chest.
I just like throwing people off. Yeah, I was decided to do that. But yeah, it's I've never seen you wear pink before. It's weird. It's like I'm used to like it's a good color on you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's my
Yeah.
one of my toxic femininity t-shirts.
So we're
Yeah,
doing,
yeah,
we're doing
yeah.
a promotional thing. I hope you put that
Yeah.
check mark in the YouTube description. Otherwise, we're gonna get in trouble.
That's okay. They already know.
It's an excellent
They
shirt.
already know.
Yeah.
Oh man, so how you doing?
I'm doing all right. We had 2 days of about 5 to 6 hours of the new Wednesday show we tried out on the channel. We've
Mm-hmm.
got this buttered. We had numerous different people on the panel, and we went through like Kevin Smith's Smodcast with the voice actor of Orko, right? And we weren't coming at it from hate. We were just coming at it, giving like honest opinions, history related, and it came out great. It didn't feel like I didn't feel drained. You know, we get drained. We're
Mm-hmm.
always hearing negative stories and stuff, and it was a kind of an uplifting way of having satire, and I want to do more like that. But yeah, it's a good day. I've had fun this week. It's been interesting. How about
Okay.
you?
Getting used to living here. You're living here in Florida, and it's still kind of weird to literally within 15 minutes I can be from my house to one of the theme parks. So that's very cool. I'm like, wow, it doesn't take so long to get here, at all. But other than that, Justin and working here, working remotely, and it's all good. So hopefully things will settle down within the next couple of weeks here or so I can get back to kind of doing some canned videos for folks.
That's cool.
So it's good.
Yeah, we have a different type of personality here. Is he arrived yet?
Not yet. So
Oh
while
my
we give
god,
him a little bit of time to get here, we can talk as always to our awesome and amazing chat, because without you guys in the chat, we'd just be here talking to
yeah.
talking to each
There's culture. Living near that Florida stuff is awesome.
Oh, let's see. You know what? Our guest is in the back. So let
Oh,
me let me bring him up real quick. Our
no, make him wait.
guest.
He made us wait.
Gonna
Make
make
him wait. Well, yeah, we'll make him wait. Like, how about that local sports team and liquor we all like so much? How about that last Jedi video we? Never mind. I can't believe it.
Oh, you know what? Let's introduce him real quick, and then we can talk to our chat real quick. Hello, Mando Merc. Glad you
Hey,
could be
I'm so
with
sorry I'm
us.
late.
Oh, no worries. For a minute there, I thought I forgot to send Fat Steven the StreamYard link. I've done that sometimes, where I'm just like, did I send it to him? Did I send it to him? No worries, but you're here. You're here. Relax a little bit while we welcome the chat. Let's see. We have Theme Park Casual. Thank you for being a channel member. Says, hey, kids. Hello to you. Hello to you. Released him at Kraken. Another channel member. Got the Lorena icon. Lorena, it's not an icon. Shoot. It's a custom emoji that all you channel members get to use. So good to see you here. Released them at Kraken. And of course, we have Snortopoopas Cuber, another channel member. Hello, humans and other critters. Well, hello to you too. You should have seen this like lizard outside. That's like another critter. I have lizards that come across my patio now. It freaks my cat out. He just loses it. It's like it's not a squirrel. It's like a little tiny green squirrel. And hello, Keely Chow. Roll Tide says, hey, everybody. Good morning. Well, good morning to you. Glad you're here with us. And let's see, I see another channel member, which would be Dad Man Walking. How you doing? He's saying howdy to Snort a Poopus. Love it when you guys are greeting each other. We've got Ram Bam 3000 said, I got coffee. Hey, that's all right. whatever you've got, whatever you've got is amazing. The important thing is that you're here hanging out with us. And we have Black Superwoman, my Slytherin sister, says, good morning. Well, good morning to you too. Glad you're here.
Robots suck. Oh, sorry. It was a cough.
Oh, okay. I have no dog in that fight. So
Who said that? Is that like a bird? I think it was like a
hey,
turtle flying
Rogue
by.
Disney says, howdy, y'all. How you doing? How you doing?
Howdy.
Rogue Disney, I think you're going to Epcot today, right? Or was that yesterday? To let me know. I think it's today. I think he said he was going. He was going today. Let's see. Hey, Culture, how you doing? He says, living near that Florida stuff is awesome. Culture, you know what? It really is. It really is. No joke. I've got like dining reservations for like within the next 2 months or so down at Disney. It's like, man, I'll only take 15 minutes, and go there. So it's just awesome.
You know what they say, right? Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you got a diamond reservations. Never mind, that was a bad joke. Let's go back to the stop. I'm over myself.
How's the humidity? Black Superwoman, it's off the chart. It's literally off the chart. I haven't had to fight with hair this much in a long time, so yeah, it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad, but I'm adjusting. I'm adjusting. Yeah, Dad Man Walking. It is cool to live this close just to go like eat there. It's awesome. Although I have to be careful because can't eat too much of this stuff or else God, the pounds go on. And I gotta say, I've literally dropped weight since I've been here. So that's awesome. Hey, Arwen Avalon says, hey y'all. I saw you were on Loki's channel. I didn't get to watch the show yet, but I will. So we'll get to see what you look like. That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna check that out. Check that out. And let's see. They showed some of the food available for the Star Wars Hotel. Looks really interesting. Oh, okay.
Does it look edible?
It's a Star Wars hotel now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Galactic Star Cruiser. So basically, they hold you up for 2 days, no, 3 days, 2 nights. It's like you're staying, on a Star Cruiser. I think it's some obscene amount of money. I think that it starts out with, but that's basically it. It's just themed to Star Wars.
Star Wars themed hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, not the original trilogy though.
So it's technically you're going into a giant high rise. All the windows are blacked out with LCD screens, and they're showing you different versions of wherever your thing is. And you're paying money to not see the sun for 3 days. Is that about right?
Yeah, imagine being locked in a holodeck and not.
So it's like prison, except they're charging you.
So in other words, you're paying to not have windows.
Yeah, you're paying to not have windows. Now, granted, there is a restaurant that they're building in Epcot that does have those LCD windows and stuff like that, but you can't like leave and go. And okay, I'm gonna take a little segue here for a little bit. When the idea for the Star Wars Hotel first came out, I was excited about it. I'm like, cool. So you mean to tell me that what you're building at Galaxy's Edge, I can walk in, go to Galaxy's Edge, then come back to the hotel, kind of like you're staying there? But no, you're pretty much locked in this hotel like a bottle. It's gonna be interesting. I'm keeping my eye out for information on that. So we'll see if they offer Florida resident discounts. That'll be interesting. Cast in the Shadows says greetings programs. Well, that is
Me.
you. Cool. I love that. I love the line greetings programs.
A good old Tron reference.
It is.
Yes. That's what I love about it.
From the net.
I love it, but Disney better hurry up and build that freaking Tron cycle.
They do.
Tron.
If you haven't watched that video, I watched that numerous times. It was at Shanghai. They have it, like the
Yeah,
four gun one.
right. It's a Shanghai, and they just started work back in earnest on it again over at the Magic Kingdom. So I'm hoping pretty soon I can do a one of the cheap things I like to do is get on the monorail and just ride the monorail around. Well, the monorail goes past Tomorrowland. So I'm hoping to capture some footage of the progress that they've started back up doing with that. So hopefully that's going to be open. No one knows when, but I'm hoping on the next Disney earnings call, I believe it's next month. Hopefully they'll drop some news about it because they really should drop that for the 50th. Hey, Dylan Campbell says, hey, Fat Stephen and Lorena, was about to watch Fear Street until I immediately clicked on the live stream link. Well, Dylan, so glad that you're here with us. Glad that you're here with us. Awesome. And Matthew Berkland, 7 p.m. in Istanbul. So it's dinner time where you are. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. We'll be back in North Dakota next week, though. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So you'll only be, I think you guys are on Mountain Time in North Dakota, I think. I'll have to remind me. At least be less less time zones. Hey, Jeremy Swig says hello, hello, hello. Yesterday wanted to get one last trip before Mass again. Yeah, we're going to talk about that on Welcome to Florida. It's going to be interesting. Captives don't get to talk. Let's see. And Guardians is done. Cash gotten it right at. They're probably waiting for Epcot's 40th. Yeah, the Epcot is not really as much of a rush for Guardians of the Galaxy as it is for Tron. Let's see. Spend $3K to be held captive. Makes sense. Oh, especially when it comes to Disney, they want all your money. All your money. Hey, Lord Thoth. Good to see you. Good to see you. So there are 18 of you folks watching. Thank you so very, very, very much. This is Lorena's Lunch Table, and we have our guest, Mando Merc, who's no, there's somebody else. There was somebody else who was crazy late, and we won't embarrass them, but they know who they are.
That person never showed up too. We had to get someone else replaced, so that's going on.
Nah, dude, 5 minutes. You're okay. Trust me.
Yeah,
so
actually,
how you doing?
I was late because I just received a last minute invite for the Halo Infinite flight, so I was kind of filling that stuff out real quick so that I can actually get in and play the game.
Yeah, they have the beta testing going right
now.
The
beta testing,
it looks
going
beautiful.
on. Started yesterday, so
yeah, SNTR did it, and now you're looking at it and like, it has promise. But it also just looks like it's more beautiful than it is gameplay.
Personally, I'm more concerned with with the campaign than I am multiplayer, just because that's what they're charging you for, and that's what I care about in general about Halo more. But I figured, look, I want to know what the game I want to know how the game plays, anyways. So I figured I'll play this and see how it is.
Yeah,
and of course I'll live stream it.
Awesome.
They also dropped. I'll give it to people later if they're interested. But they are dropping free keys for the Back 4 Blood beta as well, which is the successor to Left 4 Dead. Yay, Steven! Yay! Hercules!
Oh, Lord. My fault. I'm looking. I'm like, when's it? Looking at the work phone, and I probably shouldn't be, but I need to. But anyway, so Mando Merc, glad you're here. So we usually start off with two baseline questions to ask people. So what are your memories of lunchtime at school?
Well, I mean, it's probably not hard to guess. I was the nerd at school, so it's not that difficult to choose from in terms of memories. There was when I was in first grade, I got bitten by a kid at lunchtime.
Oh.
So there's one. Another time was when we found out what was really in the burgers at lunch that they were serving. Someone dropped the burger and it bounced. So, and then we broke it apart and we saw, like the wax paper that they use, like when they place for cooking, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
in
So
between
we
the
found
burgers.
that inside the burger.
Ew.
Well, I can see that happening sometimes, especially if it's the like, was it like really inside the burger or kind of just like hanging off the burger, like somebody forgot to peel it all the way off before they threw it
Inside.
on the grill? Yeah, that's a problem. That's a
It
problem.
wasn't like we wouldn't have known if we didn't like accidentally drop a burger and watch it bounce and like, what's in these?
It's that. Hey, Bad Bunny. It's time for that mystery meat burger.
Yeah,
Yeah, Snortopoopas. Yeah,
bouncing
bouncing
burgers.
burgers. I thought you'd only see that in cartoons, but apparently not, right?
No, no, that's the fun part about lunchtime in school is we kind of got to relive some cartoons. And
Oh. So any pizza, and if you did, was it
pizza
square? Was it
was they didn't serve pizza in elementary and middle school. They did serve like pizza bagels, and eventually they had the deep dish pizza stuff, but it was never good.
round? Oh
So I
wow.
just kind of opted out. And later in high school, my high school was right across the street from a good pizza place, so we would just go there for lunch until that pizza place closed down.
Right, right.
And then they had to they got bought out, and it was a new pizza place, but a new owner, new recipe and everything that was horrible, inconsistent.
Hmm.
Uh, so it's a real shame.
Was that really about cafeteria food, Black Superwoman? I thought that was more about airline and hospital food because it takes cafeteria food and like
What just
the
happened?
dollar store food mixed together to create hospital.
No,
or med-
I will say cafeteria food, depending on where you get it, school cafeteria food can be worse than an airline food. This is true.
Well, the only difference is that
This
you're
is
on the grid.
true. Well, let's put it this way: domestic United States airline food. Because if
That
you're a U.S. airline and you're flying overseas, for some reason they bring out the good eats. Yeah, there's a difference between flying United Airlines in the U.S. and flying United Airlines, like say to the UK. It's much better
I
when
don't
you're
think
flying
I've ever actually had. I think I had it once as a kid, but I don't think I really actually had a airline food. I mean, every time I was on an airplane, it was just brought
over.
like a bag of snacks, and that was it.
Hmm. I know for me, when I was a consultant and I had to fly a whole lot, I was on a lot of flights. So I was on like a lot of morning flights and evening flights. So you would get like meals
Yeah.
after, because I think it was like a 3 hour flight. I think more than 3 hours they give you a meal. So yeah, I did, and some of it was just like, oh my god, yeah, this looks like something that was in a cafeteria, and that's when I learned. That's when I learned how to start ordering kosher meals instead.
There's definitely is a problem. Is that when you take off like the lid or the plastic wrap to your meal and it starts waving at you or complaining that it's too cold, don't eat it.
It's just one of those things. Yep, international airline food is better than domestic.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just like, you're paying extra. Let's actually give you stuff like real silverware and
Yeah,
real
I've
cuts of
only
food.
gotten food though on international flights. I just never really. I think I had once it was scrambled eggs or something like that, and it was good. That was the only time. I used to travel to Israel a lot, so it's a 10-hour flight, and yeah, you're on the plane for 10 hours. You're gonna need a meal or two.
Uh, Black Superwoman. I had a 3 hour flight. They offered peanuts and soda, none of it free. I think it was like $5. Girl, one thing I learned from airlines, I started packing
Yeah,
snacks
yeah, you gotta pack food.
because it's either super expensive or they're not gonna freaking give you
You
anything.
know, like boxes of cereal with you,
Kind of crap.
packages of M&Ms.
That's why I like Southwest Airlines. They're flat out telling you, no, we really don't serve you a meal, but we got cool snacks for you. It's like, okay, all right, you're upfront about it. Totally upfront about it. That's pretty cool. So, Mando, tell us. So you have a lot of stuff, like a YouTube channel, Twitch. So how did you get into YouTube actually?
So I started going back almost like 6 years now. Um, I started out originally as a Star Wars Battlefront 2 mod showcase channel.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hell
way
yeah.
back when Star Wars Battlefront. There was only one Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it was a good
Yeah.
one. I grew up with this game. It's one of my favorites. So
It's the one that had
and
like the
I've been
4
modding
discs,
the hell
right?
out of it since forever. So I figured,
What the hell?
Up, up. We lost him.
Oh god, we said there was only one Battlefront, and we got
I hope.
Mando got canceled.
I'm like, I hope he's not on.
He got murked, ladies and gentlemen. His name is true to the fact. He got murked.
okay, sorry. So
We got him back.
I don't know what that is, but I'm all right. Anyway, the I started doing that, showcasing different mods and
Mhm.
showing off my personal favorite mods on the channel. But slowly, as the years went on, and I kind of, and I don't want to get too much into this topic just because it's a bit of a can of worms for me, and I don't want to spend 7 hours on this. But I slowly lost interest in Star Wars, and my enthusiasm for the franchise as a whole was kind of killed.
Mhm.
So I just, my passion for playing that game kind of dwindled a bit, and I moved on to playing other games. But before I did that, I got into just before my passion for it died, I got into this other project called Star Citizen, which, for any who don't know, is a open world. It's essentially everyone's sci-fi dream game come true. It's pretty much a open universe that you fly from one planet to another. You can actually go from space to the planet's surface, no loading screens or anything, which is the beauty of the game, because technically the entire game is a loading screen. It's constantly loading items and assets in and out all the damn time.
Mhm.
And I got heavily into that, and I'm so grateful I did, because when I kind of I feel forced out of Star Wars almost. I'm like, well, I have this to fall back on, and just dove full into it and haven't looked back since. And now I just focus on, instead of doing Star Wars mod stuff, I just focus on kind of documenting Star Citizen's development, because it is still in development, but it is an alpha right now, but it is definitely one of the most incredible games I've ever played, and it's not even finished.
Who's the publisher or the platform?
So it's made by Chris Roberts and Cloud Imperium Games. Chris Roberts made the Freelancer series, Wing Commander games. So
Wing Commander is classic.
Yeah, so it's good stuff. And he's got so they're actually making two games at once. So Star Citizen is the MMO RPG space sim, but they're also making a single player campaign story driven game at the same time. It's a separate game. They're in the same universe and all that, but it's a separate game. The single player one's called Squadron 42. That's the one that has Mark Hamill as your wingman and Gary Oldman as the admiral.
Nice.
I think it has Mark Strong and Henry Cavill's in it. It's star-studded cast. It's kind of incredible.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
I do have one question. Like, you seem to be heavily into games. Besides the Battlefront, say Star Citizen, what was like the first game that got you like heavily into gaming in general?
Yeah, I mean that's also another thing too, is that Star Citizen and Squadron.
Can you not hear me?
What?
Did you hear the question?
No, I didn't. What?
Okay, I was right. I mean,
well, before you guys ask really quick, I just want to acknowledge these two super chats that I have right up here. So we have Ram Bam 3000 for £2.5 sterling. Thank you so very much for that. So appreciate that. It says, love the license plate you've got behind you. Yes, that is a well, it's not a real one. I actually got it from Universal Studios last Christmas from what's the tree lot? Oh, Earl the Squirrel's tree lot. They had like a tribute store for Christmas, and they had like this crazy looking tree farm. And this is the license plate that you could buy from there. And apparently it was so popular, it was the one thing that they did not put on sale, even after Christmas. It's hilarious. So it's like the license plate that you see on the back of his truck at the end of it. So hopefully they'll offer it up again this Christmas because it's hilarious for so many freaking reasons. So many reasons. I love it. It's one of my favorite Florida things that I have. And Roger H sends a $1.99 super sticker. And of course, that has to be a thumbs up. Absolutely. So since that's a thumbs up, I gotta hit you with this.
Thumbs up.
And jump and skip. Thank you so very, 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 very much. Let's see. Okay, so go ahead. We got 22 you guys watching, and Mando Merc is our guest. So go ahead, Fat Steven.
I'll re-ask the question because am I louder now?
You are louder now. Yes.
It also
All right,
helped that I had the fan on, so I just turned that off.
Oh, that's okay.
That's why.
But Projo was asking, like, you seem to be into gaming quite a bit, or certain types of game. But what was the first game that actually piqued your interest that you decided to focus on, like, say, Halo or Star Citizen?
Oh, in terms of like channel stuff, or just the first game
as you as a personal, as a human, your personal like what was like the game you most remember that had the influence of you wanting to go into game content?
You ever play Spider-Man 2000? Obviously, as you can tell from my logo, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, like old school Spidey. And
really, I never guessed. I have no idea what Spider-Man is at all. I have no idea whatsoever. This is
nice
technically
little
Wonder
Scarlet
Woman.
Spider there. The good one too.
Scarlet, Ben Riley.
Yep. So, Spider-Man 2000 would probably be that game. I love the hell out of it. I think there are some ideas in that game that I would love to see in like a remake or in like a new Spider-Man game that takes those elements from that old game, you know, having to replace your web cartridges and stuff. And actually, back in 2013 or 14, it actually inspired me to, on paper at least, design my own Spider-Man game that had like co-op. It's pretty much like, what did I want in a Spider-Man game? Because at the time, we just got one of the Amazing Spider-Man games. I don't remember which one. It was one or two. Either way, it was garbage. And I'm like, okay, what do I want in a Spider-Man game? Let me just like write it down and see if it actually works. And so it's like, okay, it was like a co-op Spider-Man game that actually featured Ben Riley. So you have two Spider-Man to play as. You've got, you know, web shooters that you can replace the cartridges, and you know you can upgrade them to have more web fluid in the cartridge and all that. And it was finding it. And it's definitely heavily inspired by the original 2000 game with that Stan Lee voiceover and all the really good voice actors from all the different cartoons in the game. And I know a lot of people, usually a lot of people played it on the PlayStation. I played it on the Mac actually, so I had the best graphics. It's like if you look at the PC and Mac version versus the PlayStation, it's like a completely different game visually.
Well, it would make sense because you have more processing power when you have something like a PC or a Mac. Just by default, when you have like something like a PlayStation or an Xbox, you're kind of like a fixed capacity with that.
Yeah, I'd play that on my PowerBook G4 all the damn time.
Oh man.
Yeah, going way back.
You said G4. Ooh, okay.
Oh, I still have it.
Really?
I think the motherboard needs to be replaced, but I mean, aside from that, hard drive's still intact, CPU still intact. I just need to kind of fix it up a bit. It could probably work again.
So right now it's a doorstop.
Oh, and it's, by the way, it's a 17-inch too. So
wow,
that's a big doorstop.
Yeah, big doorstop.
I've never played the Spider-Man games. One didn't freaking have time, but Spider-Man is like one of my favorite characters in the Marvel universe. That's why when Universal, and it's still the best freaking one out there, when Universal put together the Amazing Spider-Man ride.
Sony.
Oh, sorry.
Sony, like Sony Entertainment. I thought they did. They own the rights to the Spider-Man movie license.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. But apparently they licensed that out to Universal. So basically at Universal Orlando, they have Superhero Island. which is over in Islands of Adventure. So all of it's Marvel. So one of their most popular rides over there is the Amazing Spider-Man.
Go figure.
You go in there, it's like you're in the Daily Planet. I still have to capture this on video. You go in, you're literally in
the Bugle.
In the Daily Bugle. You're actually in there. And you see like all the desks, all the news desk, J. Jonah Jameson, all of that, and then you go into
Eddie
like
Grant,
Spider-Man, all of it. Absolutely all of it. So the ride is absolutely incredible. I mean, it screens, the dynamic simulator, all of that. So you literally feel like when Spider-Man is like shooting webs and web slinging through the city, you feel like you were actually there with him doing that.
They use like something similar to the Spidey cam from the original Raimi films.
Yes.
Nice. That's definitely my favorite, or the Raimi films.
It feels absolutely freaking seamless. It really does.
I hope I didn't confuse anyone when I just said Ned Leeds. Like, what? Ned Leeds working at the Planet? Yes, before they did the Disney movies, Ned Leeds was a reporter older than Peter who worked at the Daily Bugle. I said Planet again, didn't I? At the Daily Bugle.
Oh, that's okay, because I said the Daily Planet
I know,
first.
That's probably why I...
And I'm like, oh crap, yeah, that's totally wrong.
First off, nice. I have that variant cover. Love Todd McFarlane.
But it's really cool. I think they did work with Sam Raimi to put together that particular ride. But it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Whether you're deep into Spider-Man or whether Spider-Man is just a cool character, you actually feel like you were in there with him. So it's awesome. So it's one of those rides where if you are my channel members, you got to see like the last minute of that ride that I happened to capture. So you can go back and check that out. But I'm planning to go back and film the whole entire thing. So you can see the ride from the queue all the way through to the end. If you don't want to be spoiled at the ride, don't watch it. However, it'll be there for you. Bone, thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker. I sure do appreciate that. And let's see, what kind of super sticker is it? It is Shiba Inu dog, shaking body left to right with the farting heart. It's one of my favorites.
It's the twerking heart.
I think that's a condition. You should get that looked at.
Which one?
The farting hearts.
Oh, I like that one. It says floating hearts, but hey, I'm not above appreciating a good fart joke. Thank you, Bone. I so do appreciate that. Let's see.
Ram Bam 3000 says Spider-Man 2, best Spider-Man film, fight me. No, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to that's the best comic book film.
Really?
I think to date it has one of the best comic book fight scenes to date.
I don't know. That fight scene with Tobey Maguire and his dance moves from 3 seems pretty legit.
Oh, we told you we don't talk about that one.
We do, because
no, we don't.
That's what that's what happens when the studio gets involved.
Yeah.
That film is pretty much the equivalent of studio involvement. That's what happens.
It was freaking horrible. I said, I can't believe I went from Spider-Man 2, which I absolutely loved, to whatever the heck the third one was. I think that's why I tapped out on watching any more Spider-Man movies.
Then you probably saved yourself a lot of trouble.
Okay, because I was just like, no, I just no. I won't even get into Tom Holland. Y'all know how I feel about that.
No. If they've ever watched any of my stuff, they know how I feel about it too.
Yeah, Ram Bam.
Name only.
I freaking love that. I loved Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. That was
he's such a good Doc Ock.
God, that was freaking awesome. Also, Doc Ock is in the Spider-Man ride too. Just saying.
Nice.
Just say it. We don't talk about part 2 or Fight Club.
But what was it? Spider-Man 3, they had the original plan was just to have Sandman. And the studio's like, no, you already did another classic. You did a classic villain. and that's when like Avi Arad and all these guys were getting involved. And it's like, okay, we need to do a modern villain, right? And Venom, he was popular at the time, still is popular.
Yeah.
So they wanted to have Venom in. The original symbiote suit for Spidey was actually more comic book accurate compared to what we got. But they went with this shiny black look, and I'm quoting them here onto why they didn't use it, and that was because it looked too much like a porno flick with the shiny black latex. I'm trying to find the image because I do have it somewhere, but it's a little weird as to why they did that. And then they had to do the whole Harry Osborn Green Goblin thing.
Yeah.
By the way, all the new Goblin stuff with James Franco. Yeah, you can blame James Franco for all of that. That's all his creative input for the character. Making the glider a skateboard, the design of the costume, everything.
No thanks.
I'm for real. I pretty much wiped. Spider-Man 3 was so bad. I literally wiped my brain of everything.
You didn't like my dance moves at all?
No, I didn't like your dance moves. I didn't like you crying.
I can cry.
I think that was the biggest thing.
All the crying. There's so much crying.
Oh God! I said, who is this Spider-Man, and what have they replaced him with? Because that's not. I'm like that's freaking not Spider-Man. And all my other friends who watch it, who were comic book buffs, said the same thing. We're like, we don't know who the frick that is.
All right, I have just found the image. Would you like to see what Spidey's black suit would have looked like?
Yes, I would like to see that. I would so freaking like to see that.
I have like 1,700 different tabs. So I have to scroll through them all.
You sound like me.
Here it is.
I have 8.
I want to say I'll say it after this is done.
So that's what it was going to look like.
That looks good though.
I don't see a problem with that.
I know.
It's also Agent Venom style too.
Can I just say, if this is porno suit, no, that I like. That looks hot. That looks hot. One comic book that I have of Vision and the Scarlet Witch. The reason why I bought it is because Spider-Man had on the black suit.
Man, I love that black suit.
That black suit was freaking hot. Better suit.
I mean, yeah, look at it.
Well, technically, eventually he wouldn't be wearing the suit if we're going the porno route because it would come off eventually.
Spider-Man. No, you know what, Rambam? You're right. They know absolutely nothing. I mean, to hear that, oh, you already did a classic villain, you can't do another one. That blows my mind because it's like that's what fans want to see. We want to see those classic villains and see like what would they do now in a full length movie. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and the thing is, they were actually going to do a Spider-Man 4. It wasn't until like 2011 or 2010 it was canceled. 2011 it was then turned into the Amazing Spider-Man movie reboot. But the original Spider-Man 4, and this is, I think, this is concept art for what the Lizard was going to be in it. And it's like, look at that. He looks like a lizard. Not some like humanoid face bullshit. Like, look at that. This looks good.
But he also looks like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
A little bit, but I mean,
or Godzilla.
I'd rather have that than what we got.
But but if you look at it, it has a cross of a little bit of a T-Rex. It has a cross of the Godzilla from Matthew Broderick's Godzilla. And I don't see the Lizard, man. I don't see Lizard in this at all.
Honestly, as long as he's wearing the freaking lab coat and actually has pants on, we're good.
Yeah, maybe.
It just...
Because this actually reminds me of some of the video game designs where they kind of go all full out. Well, it's a video game, so they have him look like this monstrous lizard creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now the question I got to ask right now is that Wait, we did this a little bit with a comic chat before. Who was the better Spider-Man and who was the better Peter Parker? For me, it was Andrew Garfield played a better Spider-Man, but Tobey played a better Peter Parker.
I'm going to say Tobey for both.
Thank you.
I didn't like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I know everyone says, "Oh, he made more jokes." Yeah, but Spider-Man's jokes are supposed to land. They're supposed to stick. Pun intended.
I would just like to state you're a part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take him away. Thank you very much.
No, it's my show, so he gets to stay. Although I will add, to be fair, because I did not like Spider-Man 3 and wiped it from my memory, that I have not seen Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. So I will say that.
Some of the jokes, like, oh, no knives, my 1 week, like, the jokes didn't land. I mean, when you read a Spidey comic and you hear him make the jokes or read about the jokes, and it's like, yeah, they at least get the chuckle out of you. Like, they're not the best thing in the world, but they're still funny. Whereas here, it wasn't funny.
Wait, Tobey Maguire was funny?
No, Tobey Maguire didn't make a lot of jokes, and that's fine. They were going for a more serious take, and clearly going for like a more realistic approach compared to other movies. They had the organic web shooters instead of the actual web shooters because of Sam Raimi saying that it was unrealistic for a teenager to have the technology to make web shooters, which he isn't necessarily wrong considering how it's not feasible even today, at least not with anything more than like a $1 million budget. So understandable, like it's a fine change, but just I totally I just didn't get I didn't like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Peter Parker was very all over the place. He had the cool hair, the skateboard. Apparently behind the scenes with the movie, the studio was, because that's what happens. The Amazing Spider-Man is what happens when the studio makes the movie entirely. And that movie was like, okay, we need to appeal to every audience, essentially. The loners, the weirdos, the geeks, the jocks, the this, the that. So that's why we got Peter Parker that actually looks cool as opposed to nerdy Peter Parker.
Because I know with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, he did a lot of crap talking, which is what I liked. It wasn't necessarily like the jokes from the comics. It was more,
more like just punchlines and comebacks. Like, you have a knack for getting in my way. Or was it like, you keep getting in my way? I have a knack for that. Not shut up, grown up stalking. I mean, right? Stuff like that. But in his but it's like it didn't have the jokes that some of them are just like, oh my gosh, did you really freaking say that from the comics? But I will eventually have to watch Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man so I can make an informed opinion. But you're gonna have to blame Sony for me not watching those because of the third one that they did. It's like, oh crap, I don't want to freaking look at that. Early Spider-Man book, Spider-Man didn't make any jokes. I know what Bad Bunny says. Some techno geeks figured out how to make web shooters last year. I know what he's talking about, and they're not quite up to snuff. We're not talking like comic book accurate web shooters. Some of these web shooters they made are massive. We're talking like Pit Boy size from Fallout, like giant.
That's a web cannon.
What?
That's like a web cannon.
Yeah. And it's still very, very gooey. It's not like a web line. It's not like an actual web line. It's not like a little. It's not synthetic silky yet. It's not perfected. So I can totally understand why they did that for the movie, because obviously you're not just making the movie for comic book fans. You're making it for moviegoers, normal, your average Joe moviegoer and all that. So.
Oh, I didn't watch the one for Fox Kids. The Spider-Man that I watched was the cartoon rerun series. That was the one that I watched.
There's been like 17 cartoons even before the 21st century.
Oh God, I'm trying to remember. Was it the one with the psychedelic 60s music in it?
I got a 66 or 67 cartoon in one year. Then you had the Amazing Spider-Man. Then you had Spider-Man, His Amazing Friends, and
You know what? I'm going to have to
Maybe
go
I'll
and
go
look
first.
because they all tend to run together because it's like whatever the heck was running on the television, that was the
Yeah,
one that I
sometimes
watched.
they play an episode of one. It's like what they do at Star Trek now, where it's like they'll play TOS, then they'll play a TNG episode, then they'll play a Voyager episode, then they'll play a
Yeah.
DS9 episode.
So it's kind of like it was just all there together, and I never like made the distinction of which one he was in.
Did either of you watch the Spider-Man Unlimited or the 2099 one?
I did. Yeah,
I love that one. And
I love the
again,
suit.
cut too
I
short.
love the suit. I gotta say, like, and actually, I did a stream recently about the new movie suit designs and how they're boring and over complicated. Like, they're so over designed that all the design itself, the classic design of Spidey suit, is lost. And I started showing examples of like good Spidey designs that are essentially like a new take on the classic red and blue on the webs.
Yeah.
And one of the prime examples, one of my personal favorites of that was Ben Reilly's Spider-Man suit when he was Spider-Man in '96, because it's like here you got the classic red and blue, but it's a different take on that design. What's face Alex Ross's suit was also a pretty good design.
Mm-hmm. That's when you bring up the design, you bring up a good point. One of the things that irritated me about seeing Spider-Man in the MCU basically was his outfit. It just seemed
Iron Man.
Well, thank you. Yes. It wasn't, it wasn't
way too much pattern detail going on. I'm not a fan of the non-pointy belt section. Like being someone, yes, that is a good suit design. But being someone that draws Spidey pretty much almost on a weekly basis, like how do you not like? There's aspects of the suit that just completely either ignore willfully or just I don't know. It's kind of like, how do you not get that suit right? It's the most simplest suit ever.
Because they didn't watch it. That's where it comes down to. Like we're going back to Hollywood. When Hollywood takes over, you can see the effect, and when Hollywood's not fully involved, you can see the effect. The thing is, they're not paying attention. This is like the ongoing argument. They don't pay attention to the costumes. They just took Iron Man, took out all the armor, and just put cloth underneath it. He didn't need the gold. He just needed the red, the blue. Like honestly, the suit they have where he was wearing the sweater and the hood and that was a lot more real than anything else because a kid made it.
Yeah, Black Superwoman. If you can't get the suit right, I'm out. I mean, another example is with WandaVision.
Oh God.
Contrary to some people, I did not like her outfit when she transformed into the quote unquote Scarlet Witch, because that was not the Scarlet Witch costume that I was used to seeing.
Oh, it was bland. It was maroon bland.
I didn't even watch the show. I kind of dropped off the episode.
You didn't, ultimately you didn't miss much. But I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna get this part right. I know what the Scarlet Witch's outfit looks like, so I can't wait to see what they do with it. And
bombed.
No, it just they couldn't get the suit right. And it's like, well, why can't you get the suit right?
Well, they did it. They did something right. They got the suit wrong and half of the show wrong. So technically, they were in line with their own stupidity at this point when it comes to Wanda.
Well, that's what happens when you don't freaking read the comics.
Well, I did read the comics. I looked at the covers and came up with my own story.
It's like you don't read the comics, nor do you say, okay, I want you to get me all the comics, and I'm gonna go lock myself up in a room for a couple of days and just like do a deep dive and get into all of it and then start asking questions. Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this Mephisto person that people keep talking about? They didn't freaking do that. And it's like they didn't really care, which is why they didn't bother to get Spider-Man suit right and let Spider-Man be Spider-Man. And instead they make Spider-Man Tony Stark Jr. That's everyone knows that I use that quip. He was fine with what he had. That's what made him Spider-Man. So
it's annoying. I liked him in Civil War. I didn't like the whole Mr. Stark crap in Civil War, but for the most part, it was a decent Spider-Man in that movie. It was like a kid Spider-Man. It's fine. They're clearly going with the ultimate version.
Right.
Right. Younger. But okay, fine. And then the movie came out, the Homecoming movie, which I was following closely before release.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched it, and it's just like, I remember I walked out of theater because my father and I are both huge Spider-Man fans. He got me into it as when I was like 2-3 years old. So we're walking out of the theater, and I'm like, you know what? If the second movie is done by the same guys, I'm not watching it. And I've kept my promise. I haven't watched the Far From Home or whatever when they try to do the bait and switch Mysterio. It's like, for anyone who fell for Mysterio's a hero, come on. Master of illusion. Tells you everything.
Wow. Dennis, yeah, no one really does talk about her. I think I heard they had cast her or something.
Which one?
For some upcoming process. What, for Spider Woman?
You know what? There was 2 Spider Women. There was the Jessica Drew, the more common one, and then you had the one that was introduced in, I think, in Secret Wars in 1984, who inspired, at least in the comics, inspired Peter Parker for the black suit's design. I'm blanking on her, secret identity name, but so you had 2 Spider Women in the Marvel comics.
I think Jessica Drew is the one I remember.
What the hell?
Hey, Kaylee. This is this is
one of the new suit designs. I'm just like you can see all these like weird techno, like circuitry and stuff on the suit. It almost looks like a rip-off Miles Morales costume in terms of the fingers.
Yeah, I getcha. Yeah.
I just realized, because we were going through this, and I saw one of my comics graded by CGC. I have Spider-Man Unlimited #1 hanging on my wall, and it's still in mint condition. It's $210.
I have that too. I also have the Spider-Man Unlimited issues that came out before the cartoon did.
Yeah.
Because remember the Spider-Man issues, like there was a title in the 90s called Spider-Man Unlimited. It wasn't based. The cartoon wasn't based on those. That was just another. It was like another, Spectacular Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man. It was obviously one of the Maximum Carnage issues is in Spider-Man Unlimited. I think the first one, actually. The first one was a Spider-Man Unlimited title. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we've got like about 5 minutes left in the show, and that's my fault because I got a meeting to go to. But just wanted to show people where they can go and find your channel. So please let the folks know what you have coming up. Folks to look out for.
Yeah. So I got 2 YouTube channels. I got my personal channel, which is Mando Merc, where I pretty much upload all sorts of random, unedited gameplay shenanigans, where I just play some games, upload it. You have some entertainment there. Mostly Star Citizen, some Halo. Obviously, I'm going to be doing some Halo Infinite stuff, so I'll put some Halo Infinite clips up there soon.
Okay.
I have my second channel, which is Cast in the Shadows. That's my weekly podcast where I do a comic book and TV and movie live stream every Sunday at 6 p.m. I do a gaming podcast with Cast in the Shadows every Monday at 6 p.m. And then every Wednesday, I do a show called The Leftovers, which is pretty much anything we missed in the previous 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
And I guess today I'll be live streaming over to Cast in the Shadows for the Halo Infinite stuff. Unless I do it on Twitch. I don't know. Still debating on that. But I also have my Twitch where I just every Monday night and Tuesday night, I'm switching it from Wednesday to Tuesday night. I live stream mostly Star Citizen. But as I said, I might do some Halo Infinite today. Definitely gonna do some on Sunday. And yeah, that's pretty much in terms of all my YouTubes and Twitches and what have you.
Oh, well, cool. I haven't gotten into Twitch yet, so I just like looking at everybody else on Twitch.
I recommend it just because I prefer the interface and the UI over YouTube. It's just a lot easier to use, and it's better. Like, you're not going to have any issues where you schedule a stream and then all of a sudden it's not streaming to what you scheduled. And I've had that happen with YouTube way too many times. So I prefer Twitch when it comes to live streaming, which is why I only do it. Which is why I only stream to YouTube now 3 times a week instead of Twitch.
I gotcha.
So.
I gotcha. Well, that is so awesome. Glad to see what you're working on, what you have coming up. Hey, Justin says hello, everyone.
But
Yeah,
Justin,
everyone. Unfortunately, I wasn't feeling well last night, so I wasn't able to be on this week in BS. So please do go over to Justin's channel and watch the replay if you have not watched it yet. So I just wanted to throw that up there. So, yes, thank everybody for coming in, hanging out with us. So do appreciate it. Let's see. Today, I think it's 3 p.m. There's culture show that's going on. Also, Fat Steven, what do you have going on today?
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we will be doing. My chair needs to get a new chair. That's the metal creaking. I don't know why it's doing that.
no, don't worry. Been there.
Thank you. First of all, we got at 3 o'clock Eastern, I don't know the Central. I don't know what that time is, but 3 p.m. We will be doing the TGIF. I help co-produce over there. We'll be going into the Ghostbusters talk, the release of the toys, our thoughts on the trailer, doing something a little more happy and lively. We'll also be having a first little talk, and it's pretty much down to this: do we have the right, or not the right, but do we have the energy to, in the words, crap on Kevin Smith anymore? Or should we just let it go and just let him dig his own grave? That will be coming up later today. The gaming stream after that, until Orbs goes with Mario Kart, whatever. Tomorrow morning is the members game stream, but we're welcoming a special person who hasn't actually been on the channel live with us yet. It's going to be their premiere. They asked to make it the premiere there, so stay tuned tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Other than that, sub to Lorena, sub to Mando Merc. Give me a sub if you want, and I don't mean a sandwich by courier. I mean just drop by, check out the stuff, and have a great day.
Absolutely.
No tomato.
Well, yes, Midnight Session in the Morning is still on. Cameron Pasha is a guest, so hopefully if I have a break, I'm going to see if I can pop on to that particular stream. I had planned on streaming from Universal this evening, but have decided not to. I kind of want to do some more technical testing, and I also want to capture a few rides on video, most notably Spider-Man rides. So stay tuned for the video from that. And of course, I will see you all on Sunday, 8 p.m. for the Welcome to Florida stream, where we are going to be talking about the fact that Disney World has reinstated their mask mandate. So we'll see how that's going to affect people at the parks, considering Universal's like, now we're pretty much just going to keep stuff the way it is. We're going to keep stuff the way it is. So thank you folks so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. For those of you watching the replay, thanks so much for watching the replay, and please do give it a thumbs up to put it in YouTube's algorithm.
And if you're watching the replay, leave a comment, because it really does help with the algorithm and it helps her out.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Mando Merc.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you are very welcome. We're going to have to have you back for a longer time.
Look forward to it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.